All right, everybody, good morning. Just giving you a little, I haven't done like a little live drive chat. I've been really busy with work and life, and honestly not overly enamored into cards at the moment. Not spending a bunch of time on eBay through my saved searches. A lot of stuff I just don't care about now. There's certain things I would like to have but don't need, and part of what we all deal with is being able to wrangle something like that in for a lot of us. And it's just the fact that, like yesterday I was looking at 4 cards that were listed. I looked at the pricing. I was like, maybe one of them looked a bit high, and everything else, right around that range. And I go look up what they sell for, and every one of them have sold recently for half the price the person's asking. And this is on, a Facebook group page type thing with thousands of people on it. And I'm trying to think in my head, like, why would you put these prices on these cards and then say, you're just getting feelers out there for if anybody's interested in these? And the thing is, yes, I'm interested in those. I'm not interested in those at double the cost, because every one of them was twice as much as what it had recently sold for on eBay with valid comps. Some may only had one comp, and then some had multiple comps. And I was just trying to figure out in my head, you always want to write something back. It's always easy to write something negative back. And I think a lot of us need to always hold back off of that. I understand everything in life feeds off of negativity. We don't feed off of positivity, and that's probably partially what's wrong with our, society. But at the end of the day, I was just like, why would you not look these up, see the comps, and then try and hit the comp? If the last one sold for $66, put it for $70. That way, if it's like a best offer, maybe you get $60 for it. And then if you're thinking about it, if you sold on eBay, you're going to pay more in fees and stuff like that anyway. So you're still making more money that if you went through eBay, you don't have all the other tracking BS and the shipping and, stuff like that. So I'm trying to figure out, like, I don't understand what goes through everybody's mind. I almost feel like there needs to be a, thought process, mind check app that says, but what about this? Or why did you not look at this? I don't know, stuff like that just drives me crazy. The other thing too on eBay is I'm noticing a lot of cards are going for a lot less. They really are. Obviously the hype stuff and the Wemby stuff and things like that, basketball's starting to get a little fuel to it because of that. And the hobby constantly needs that to drive it. It needs 2 things realistically: new product that's good, and performance that allows you to chase. And that performance usually has to be a rookie. Very rarely is a veteran going to get any hard pump or buy during a win. They can definitely do it during a loss, but not really during a win. And you got to string wins together, performances together. If a guy's going out there throwing for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns every game, back to back to back to back, and everybody's just going, wow, 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 and talking about it, well, yeah, his cards are going to go up because he's showing that massive consistency. Where a rookie, we just need them to outshine all the other rookies and potentially other all-stars that usually are in that, conversation. And it's a little different with basketball than it can be with other sports. Not really other sports, football more than anything. Football has so few games to be impactful, and we do see the weekly moves in players. But again, it's usually not, oh, Patrick Mahomes did great today, I got to go buy his card. No, he's Patrick Mahomes. He's always going to be great. And that's why I kind of laugh when we talk about long-term investments. At what point is Patrick Mahomes realistically not a long-term investment? Of course he is. This is not buying legal advice in case somebody's lawyer thinks they're fancy. But whatever, it's my opinion, so take that. And at the end of the day, I just try to figure out, like, all these other things and avenues people are trying to make money right now. It seems like it's always big cards, big money, because it has bigger swings, and that makes perfect sense. But all little cards, you can still make your money here and there too. If you can buy something for $3, sell it for $5 or even $10 in a week because of performance, because we have seen that, then it's worth it. With the way grading works right now, where the inability to PSA to all of a sudden not be able to scale and get stuff back quick enough, I still don't understand that. From a business standpoint, to me, If we can crank it out and you don't wait 90 days to get a card back, and let's say you wait 30 days, which is much more acceptable, which we get for less for a lot of other companies, then you wouldn't stop giving your competitors all this other business. So when I'm looking at it from a mental business standpoint, is why are you opening up the ability to allow somebody else to outcompete you in the space that you're supposed to dominate? And let's face it, PSA only dominates this space because of the resale value, because the hobby and core collectors that pay the big money constantly pay more for a PSA. It's become a stigmatism in the hobby that PSA is worth more. They are not worth more. Okay, their 10 is not better than other people's 10s. Okay, we do know this. All right, they do not have a higher level of their 10 because their 10 is a gem mint. It's not pristine, or there are cards that are just better than other cards. If that's what grading is about, and it's about telling you which you have the best card, again, that's why we go back to tag. You know, that's the closest version of something we have right now that is truly consistent. The closest. Okay, is it perfect? No. It's also technically new to us. I understand we've been working on it for 10 years, but let's face it, until you get out in the field and do anything in life, you don't really start to learn and adapt. So you can build all this stuff forever on the backside like they did, and then finally introduce it. And I know a lot of it was technology driven and trying figuring out companies and ways to do stuff with machinery. And I guarantee the last couple years, they've learned so much more about the process and the way they're doing it that, you know, the biggest thing is they need to change at some point. They need to keep evolving. And what does that evolution look like? And then do all these other companies now start jumping in, because we've already talked or heard them talk about, we use some type of AI grading, if you want to call it that, or mechanical, technological, machine grading to help in process. At the end of the day, I don't see why in the next 2 years we don't have a slab machine at a card shop, basically, where I can walk up, drop my card real slow on top of this little thing, it sucks it in, like a key cutter over at a Home Depot, and then 3 to 5 minutes later, slab comes out. Bam, here we go. This is my grade. And that'd be actually pretty fun, honestly. And it'd be better if I could watch how it works in the background. I don't know if you'll be able to do that with the scanning and stuff like that. The biggest problem's always going to be surface. And maybe that thing's just limited to certain cards, especially at first. But to have that availability and instant grading, you got to think there's going to be an addiction level to that too. That's going to be literally like gambling at a slot machine. I'm going to put this card in, put this card in, crack this card and put it back in and see what happens. Just to try and keep getting that 10. And if it's consistent enough, you'll learn real quick that's not a good thing to do. And that's what we want to hope for, because we're all the way in Slavageddon at this point. It's hard to find raw cards, and when you see raw cards, what's the first thing you think of? What's wrong with that card? Okay, even when I have my case and I have cards that are not graded, they're like, "What's wrong with this card?" It's like, I don't really grade cards. I mean, I would have graded 4 or 5 cards my entire life. I have 2 cards being graded now, just because everybody says, "What's wrong with them?" So I was like, okay, I guess I have to grade this, because the issue with everybody is there's something wrong with a card. When a lot of these dealers that are really smart, that buy graded cards and they know how to look at them, they'll buy them without a problem. But you got to remember, a PSA 9 or most other 9s of anything sell for the same as a nicely presented raw card. So honestly, I don't think so. I think an 8 should sell at a raw card value, or a raw card should sell at an 8 value, not a 9. But again, it's based on the company as well. But so a PSA 9 is considered pack pulled standard card, I guess, in the hobby, where a 10 is one that just made it through in a better situation than the other ones before them. And it just is what it is. Sorry about the sun, guys. It's time change. Get a different view on the way. It looks like I'm peeking underneath the shadow. But again, little rant stuff, guys, while I'm going to work here. I'm not chasing anything right now. I'm coming into Christmas. Prizm football won't drop until right before Christmas. It's going to be a nightmare. I don't know how fast retail is going to drop on that, and I'm sure retail is going to be chased on that because Lorcano is chased because of the easy flip. And again, you start getting stuff where you have a low valued product versus the next way to entry is either breaks, or if you want to buy the product, it is astronomically non-comparable. And the product looks really good this year. Looks fun and interesting. Let's see how the pack layout was, because I know Prizm from last year was miserable for the way things were dropping in packs and hits and inserts and stuff like that, and keeping the person alive wanting to keep buying it. I mean, Topps has always done great with an incentive program. Panini hasn't done jack on that. They do horrible with the redemptions as it is. I've been trying to get a redemption back for a few years. I've even said I don't want that card anymore because obviously you can't get that guy to sign, and I'd like another card. And still, I've waited over a year after I've already said send me something else. And I know it's to the fact where you sometimes have to call and yell at people, but it shouldn't get to that point. If somebody's saying, "Hey, I'm good to go," it should be automated. Like, I don't understand why these processes, like, I feel like there's always a deficiency somewhere within either technology or structure that is not allowing these companies to be the best they can be. Customer service is so valuable, and it's hard in this industry because people are going to cry about the dumbest things. Oh, I got a card with a little ding on the corner. Well, is that really their fault that happened? You know, yeah, straight from the pack, but you know, you think every card's supposed to be a 10, okay? You think every card's supposed to be a 9, okay? There's that thick cards that we get in packs like Origins. You ain't finding 10s. You ain't finding 9s. But guess what? Everybody's happy still. So the expectation needs to change, okay, in the hobby. You know, the whole point of a 10 is kind of like pulling a, you know, golden ticket sometimes, based on the card, is because it'd be gold foil. But you know what I mean? It shouldn't be easy. Realistically, a 10 should not be easy. Just like pristine cards with Beckett. They're not easy unless you're the certain guy that knew that guy that was getting hooked up on the backside. What's going to happen, okay? But it shouldn't be easy. And we have to stop with the criticism of specific things in the hobby with expectations that the other levels that we now built behind products to create more value for things is their fault because I'm not getting there. And it's an unrealistic thought process in any business, in any hobby, in any consumer transaction type thing, okay? It's just what it is, okay? Nothing's perfect all the time, and if it is, it's very, very expensive. So if you want it, I'm still waiting for them to come out with just a product where you get nothing but 10s. They send 1,000 cards in, let's say 400 of them come back as 10s, those go in products, and it's every card's guaranteed a 10 from a set. I'm waiting for Fanatics to do that. I'm sorry to give them ideas again, but it's just one of those things that I just keep waiting for the evolution, and it should start happening by the end of this year, if not right at the beginning of next year. But all right, guys, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Hope you're doing well and enjoyed this video, guys. Take care.